From Aswan in Egypt, it was time to go to Jordan. I took a flight to Sharm el-Sheikh and then a taxi to New Wadi, where I stayed in a wonderful resort for 2 nights. Went into the Sinai and visited St. Catherine's Monastery. You have to get there early because it shuts its door late morning. Wonderful museum, wonderful monks, wonderful people. And then the next day it was time to take the ferry to Jordan, to Aqaba. It was quite challenging, but a great feeling when I arrived and there were actual buildings and proper shops. This hadn't been the case in Egypt. And then it was off to Wadi Musa, where Petra is, and that is the subject of this episode. This road is the beginning of the road that you walk into Petra, and right beside it is the hotel that I stayed in, which was just wonderful. It has a cave bar, and that bar was originally a tomb thousands of years old. And the picture that you see now is where the sarcophagus was, the mummy, and you can sit in there and have a beer. The walk into Petra is about 4 kilometers. You can take a horse or a carriage. Wonderful. I walked all the way. You can see all the caves that are there where people lived at one stage. This is called the obelisk. It has all sorts of influences in it. This is not in Petra. This is on the way. Quite fascinating. Then you reach the Sikh, which is a narrow walkway into Petra. It's a good kilometre long and beautiful, just beautiful. The people from Petra were very careful with their water. They had a dam, which you see here, and an 88-metre long tunnel, which the dam directed the water through the tunnel and through the Sikh. On the sides of the Sikh were clay pipes, quite advanced for the time. You can see on both sides the channel where the clay pipes were. And actually in Amman, in one of the museums, they have examples of the clay pipes. Very organised. And then this is the original ground, the stones. They're not all the way through, but they're very worn. Petra is over 2,000 years old. There were earthquakes and they abandoned the city. And then over time, it was lost. People didn't know it was there. And it was only rediscovered in 1812. This is the most magical view when you finally arrive and you see the first building, the Treasury. It was probably built 1 century BC, and they reckon up the top it hides a pharaoh's treasure. So yes, as we go closer to the Treasury, you can see that it goes down a level. And I did read that, that was once ground level, actually above ground level, because the temple was above the people. So over the millennium there were earthquakes, and I suppose that is from an earthquake. And it eventually destroyed Petra enough that the people decided to leave. So you have to think, the Nabataeans who built Petra, they built all these massive public buildings. But this is where they themselves, people like you and me, or me anyway, lived in these little caves dug out. And then the Romans came in and they took over Petra. And so here you have a Roman amphitheatre. Extraordinary. So there are some doorways you can go into. It's almost like a cave in here. No, you don't see this on the camera. It's almost pitch black in here. So this was apparently the most important temple in Petra. A lot of it's still standing. It's very big. So here we find ourselves at this beautiful Byzantine church with amazing mosaics on both sides. So I was up there looking at the mosaic of the old church. And now I'm sort of finding my way down, not quite knowing where I'm going. I've come to this lovely looking bridge. Oh, Jesus Christ, look at this. I mean, oh golly gosh, is what I actually meant. Yes, I'd say there's water down there at some stage. Look at these wonderful stones. Petra is also called the Rose Red town of Petra because of the colour of these stones. Well, so I don't really like seeing down. Nevertheless, got across, didn't die. And look at this. Meet you at the top. There's that bridge. This kind of looks blocked off, but I don't know which way it's blocked off. Anyway, I'm going to try and get back that way. So I reckon there is a pathway over there. I think I want to take the high road and not the low road. And that'll be the path there, over there in the distance. And yes, I can see a way out. So I thought, before I sign off, I'd leave you with a couple of interesting thoughts. I'm looking from the top of a hill here where the Byzantine church was. If you look down there is a Crown Resort Hotel discreetly amongst all the rocks with a first-class restaurant, and there's another restaurant right beside it where I did have a very nice drink, meaning watermelon juice. If you look carefully, which it's very difficult to see on this, some of those caves at the back, the holes, people have actually built them out, so with modern windows and doors, and they've made them into homes, which is quite interesting. That's the Temple of the Lions, that one. Lots of temples around here. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed your visit to Petra, and I'll be getting back to my hotel in the cave bar and having a drink among the ghosts of Pharaoh's past.